Hello and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain and I am your guide to wisdom. Thank you for joining us for our 7-day-a-week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 28 of our trek, and yesterday we looked at the first 6 trails that we can take to gain courage, and today we're going to look at the remaining 6 trails of life where we can be actually infused with courage. We cover a lot of topics on our podcast, all focused on gaining wisdom and insight to help us create a living legacy. Many of these podcasts are in series steps that cover multiple days. So if you've missed any of the episodes, please subscribe to the Wisdom Trek on iTunes, Stitcher, or listen to them on wisdom-trek.com. We are recording our podcast today from our studio at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. We just arrived back for about 8 days with lots of lawn work and renovation projects to accomplish. If you hear some of those squawking birds in the background today, it's primarily our red-tailed hawk family speaking to each other. They are nesting and raising their young in the large trees surrounding the big house, and they appear to be quite noisy and loud this evening. If you've not heard our story about our primary residence or home here in Ohio, please check out the About Us page on wisdom-trek.com. We are blessed to have a history rich with stories. The stories that all of us share about life is the spice that makes life interesting and allows us to live abundantly. Well, let's jump right in and finish our remaining 6 trails. These are the trails of courage, and let's see how we can apply them to our daily lives. Trail number 7, the trail of taking bold action. It takes courage to take bold action, but nothing changes if nothing changes. Have the guts to step boldly from your comfort zone, make the changes and take the chances that call you forward to fulfilling the potential that is within you. Courage will allow you to trade procrastination and excuses for a commitment of being a person willing to do what it takes to live abundantly. Whatever the risk you face on the trail of life, it is a much greater risk not to do anything. Or as Jackson Brown put it, be bold and courageous. When you look back on life, you'll regret the things that you didn't do more than the things that you did. Trail number 8, the trail of perseverance. It takes courage to overcome the setbacks and failures that present themselves on the way to your goals, ambitions, and dreams. Perseverance in reaching for those dreams is what brings us the greatest sense of achievement. Face your challenges with a deep determination of staying on the trail. When the trails become rough and obstacles seem insurmountable, resist surrendering in the face of adversity. You can continue to climb, for any goal worth pursuing will require its share of determination and perseverance. Plug into your dreams and ambitions, which makes your spirit soar, and remember that it matters not necessarily that you reach the summit, but that you had the guts to try. It is through perseverance in the face of adversity that the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Or as President John Adams put it, courage and perseverance have a magical talisman before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish into air. Trail number 9, the trail of saying no. We need the courage sometimes to say no to the good in order to make room for the great. Every time we say yes to a request or offering, we are automatically saying no to some other choice. However, finding the courage to say no requires first being clear about what you want most in life so that you can say yes to the right choices. This practice will help you set boundaries in the midst of conflicting directions or requests. It will also teach other people what you will and will not accept. Saying no when you need to may never be easy, but the price you pay for not doing so far exceeds the momentary discomfort. Or it might be said, many troubles in life can be traced to saying yes too quickly and not saying no soon enough. Trail number 10, the trail of the open heart. It takes courage to be open to experiencing life's pain as deeply as its joy, and yet this can be life's richest fulfillment. Opening your heart fully to the depths of emotion that a life lived abundantly takes great courage, but it's the only life that's really worth living. It takes courage to let down your defenses and make yourself vulnerable to the anguishes that life can bring sometimes, so that you can experience the joy that comes from connecting with others openly, intimately, and compassionately. You need to learn to drop your barriers that are creating distance and isolating you from others. It is okay to reveal your humanity and make yourself available for others to know you, to love you, to care for you, and to connect with you. Nothing is more nurturing to the spirit. Or as Deepak Chopra put it, the less you open your heart to others, the more your heart suffers. Trail number 11, the trail of letting go. We all like to feel in control. However, peace of mind only comes through giving your best to life. It takes courage to detach yourself from the outcome of your efforts, knowing that everything in life has a purpose. Put your faith in the wisdom that has developed you. Have the courage to know that who you are is not defined by the outcomes of your effort. You need to trust that all you need at any moment to take the challenges of life is already present in you. You need to give up fighting what you cannot control, focusing on what you can control, and live in the present moment. Finding the courage to let go will not impede your ability to achieve what you seek most in life, but it will enhance it. Or Roseanne Cash put it this way: the key to change is to let go of your fear. And our final trail number 12, the trail of leading others. Leadership is not a position, it is the choice and courage to take action. Every day you have an opportunity to be a leader, for the essence of leadership is inspiring people to move in a direction that they might not otherwise have gone, to impact others in a manner that they will accomplish more than they would have otherwise, to lead them to accomplish and to grow into someone they may otherwise not have become. By choosing the path of integrity, personal responsibility, and courage, you will automatically shine your light so brightly that it will reveal to others the splendor of their own. Ultimately, only by living with courage yourself and being the leader will others find the courage to lead the world into the future filled with possibilities. As Thomas Watson put it, nothing so conclusively proves a man's ability to lead others as what he does from day to day to lead himself. Well, those are the 12 trails that we can take that will infuse us with courage each day. Now let's look at the practical lessons of courage from Scripture. Yesterday we left off with this lesson from Judges 7, wondering about if Gideon would have the courage to move forward in battle. God has left Gideon with 300 men to fight against several 100,000 trained warriors. This is not real good odds at all. But God realized, though, that Gideon would be very apprehensive as we pick up the story in verse 8. The Midianite camp was in the valley just below Gideon. That night the Lord said, "Get up, go down to the Midianite camp, for I have given you the victory over them. But if you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with your servant Purah. Listen to what the Midianites are saying, and you will be greatly encouraged. Then you will be eager to attack." So Gideon took Purah and went down to the edge of the enemy camp. The armies of Midian, Amalek, and the other peoples of the east settled in the valley like swarms of locusts. Their camels were like the grains of sand on the seashore, too many to count. Gideon crept up just as a man was telling his companion about a dream. The man said, "I had a dream, and in this dream a loaf of barley bread came tumbling down into the Midianite camp. It hit a tent, turned it over, and knocked it flat." His companion answered, "Your dream can only mean one thing. God has given Gideon, son of Joash, the Israelite, victory over Midian and all its allies." Well, when Gideon heard this dream and its interpretations, he bowed in worship before the Lord. Then he returned to the Israelite camp and shouted, "Get up, for the Lord has given us victory of the Midianite hordes." He divided the 300 men into 3 groups and gave each man a ram's horn and a clay jar with a torch in it. Then he said to them, "Keep your eyes on me. When I come to the edge of the camp, do just as I do. As soon as I and those with me blow the ram's horn, blow your horns too, all around the entire camp, and shout, 'For the Lord and for Gideon.'" It was just after midnight, after the changing of the guard, when Gideon and his 100 men with him reached the edge of the Midianite camp. Suddenly, they blew the ram's horns and broke their clay jars. Then all 3 groups blew their ram's horns and broke their jars. They held their blazing torches in their left hands and horns in their right hand, and they all shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon!" Each man stood his position around the camp and watched all the Midianites rush around in a panic, shouting as they ran to escape. When the 300 Israelites blew their ram's horns, the Lord caused the warriors in the camp to fight against each other with their own swords. Those who were not killed fled to places as far away as Beth-Shittah near Zerah and to the border of Abel-Maholah near Tabbath. But what a victory! And this is the courage that we can have in each day of our lives also. Well, that'll finish our podcast for today. If you missed any of our previous podcast episodes, please check out the Wisdom-Trek podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or on wisdom-trek.com. And tomorrow we will compare hiking up and down mountains to our trek of life. So please check into the camp tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. As always, I encourage you to leave a discussion topic, comment, suggestion, or question about the podcast on our Contact Us page of our website, or email me at guthrie@venturecg.com. We'd love to have the interaction from fellow members of our Wisdom Trek team. Also, please subscribe on iTunes or the player of your choice so that Wisdom Trek will be downloaded to you automatically each day. We also have a subscribe to podcast page on our website. And if you haven't done so, please leave us a rating on iTunes and Stitcher. This will allow us to gain additional members for our Wisdom Trek team and will have a great impact on allowing us to know how we're doing and how we can improve. And invite everyone you know to join us on our Wisdom Trek. And I thank you so much for this. You can read the journal from today's podcast on wisdom-trek.com, where we also have wisdom nuggets and free resources. As we take this trek together, let us always remember to live abundantly or fully, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy the journey, and create a great day. See you tomorrow.